What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Watch Report. It's finally draft day. We have survived these crazy weeks leading up to the NBA draft. We've heard all sorts of crazy rumors, and I've been meaning to drop this video for several days now, but unfortunately, the Raptors just kept being in rumors and all sorts of crazy rumors. So for today's video, I'm going to break down who the Raptors should draft, not only at that fourth spot, but also with the 2 second-round picks they have as well. So before we get into the details of the video, guys, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps me for basketball fans like yourself. And also, guys, about 85% of you guys are watching my videos but aren't subscribed. So if you want to hit that subscribe button, I'd be very much appreciative of that. And I also do give out shout-outs to random subscribers here. So my shout-out today goes to someone who's actually commented on my very first YouTube video, which is Don Lee. So thank you. We've come a long way. Thank you for your continuous support through your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. With that being said, let's get into today's video.
Now let's start the video by talking about some players the Raptors could take with the 4th overall pick. Jalen Suges, we've heard his name a lot. He can play both the point guard and the shooting guard position as well. He's got a decent size, nice wingspan. He's a really high IQ player, and his wingspan mixed in with his high IQ allows him to be a solid defender. He uses his hands really well, as evident by his 1.9 steals per game. Now let's talk about some of his offensive abilities. He attacks the rim a lot, and that reason he is able to do that is because he has a really nice quick first step which he uses to get past defenders. He also has nice ball handling skills as well, which allows him to attack the rim, get past defenders, and he does a tremendous job of attacking the rim but also getting to the free throw line as well. He does a nice job of finding his teammates. He's a good passer. He's got great leadership skills, and he's shown the potential to hit the game-winning shot as well. So he could be the guy we could go to in the crunch time to get us a basket. Now, obviously, he does have some things he needs to work on in terms of his free throw shooting, his three-point shooting as well. Now, 75.4% isn't all that bad, but he is a guard, so his percentage should be a little bit higher, and his three-point percentage needs to be a little bit better as well. That is something that will come in time, but if there's a short player in this year's NBA draft who the Raptors could take with a 4th pick, it is Jalen Suges. Now let's move on to their next player here. Scottie Barnes is a name we've been hearing a lot of lately, and the reason is because think of the combination of his size and his wingspan, and think of that and place him at the point guard position, which is exactly what Scottie Barnes was in college with Florida State. He was playing the point guard position. He's a tremendous passer. He's a great defender, a great passer, which is why he's such an attractive piece to the Raptors. We know the Raptors really like their lengthy players. He's got that crazy wingspan. He's got nice height, nice weight to him, NBA-ready body. He can come in and be a great defensive player for the Raptors. He can come in and guard multiple positions. So there's always question as to whether he plays power forward, small forward. Those positions are locked. He can play the point guard position as well. That is what makes him such an attractive piece and why I think his stock has been rising a lot lately. Now, obviously, he does have some things he needs to work on. Everything from free throw shooting to field goal percentage to three-point shooting. Forget shooting the three-point ball. He doesn't have a jump shot. He has no offensive abilities in terms of scoring. The only way he gets his points mostly are attacking the rim through layups and dunking, so that is something the Raptors do need to keep in mind. But he can come in right away, be a great defensive player. We know the Raptors love their defense. So let's move on to our third player here on the list. Now, this is a player I would really like the Raptors to draft if he does fall to the Raptors at the number 4 spot. Evan Mobley, center position, 7 foot. And that is something the Raptors need. And the way he moves, he's very versatile. You wouldn't think he's 7 foot the way he's able to move. Quick feet, really smart defender, really high IQ player, much like Jalen Suges. He knows when to pick his spots on defense, when to go for those blocks. He's a great shot blocker. As you see, 7.9 blocks per game. Now, obviously, he does need to fill into his frame a little bit. He's a little bit underweight. And the thing with drafting centers is you do realize that you need to be a little bit patient with centers. They're going to take 2 to 3 years to develop. You can't have someone like Evan Mobley come in right away and expect him to contribute like Jalen Suges. Those are 2 different players, and centers, as I mentioned, normally take quite a bit of time to develop. So that is something we do need to keep in mind if we draft Evan Mobley. He needs to get a little bit stronger. It's going to take time for him to develop his game. Now, in terms of what he brings to the Raptors, it's just a great defensive player, really smart, high IQ player. We probably haven't played at the power forward, center position, small ball lineups, but he'd be a really nice addition to the Raptors. He's been getting compared to Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh, and I can definitely see a lot of Anthony Davis in him in terms of his defense. He's a really great defender. He does a great job of picking his spots, really knowing where to be at the right place at the right time. Now, obviously, much like Scottie Barnes, he needs to improve his shooting. You see his percentages aren't great there. Field goal percentage is decent. Free throw percentage, not so much. His three-point percentage isn't that great at all. So that is something he'll have to work on as he progresses into the NBA. Now let's move on to second-round players the Raptors could take in this year's NBA draft. Now, the first player on our list is Aaron Wiggins, and no, he is not related to Andrew Wiggins. Now, although he's listed as a guard, he has the ability to play small forward. He's got good size. He's also got a decent wingspan of 6'10" as well. So in Aaron Wiggins, you get someone who's a solid shooter. He's got great athletic ability. He has the potential to be a 3-and-D at the NBA level, and he can score in multiple different ways. He can post up. He has a jump shot. He can attack the rim. He can shoot the three. He can dribble and shoot the three. He can also be a catch and shoot three-pointer as well. That is what makes him a really nice piece. Now, obviously, his age, he's a little bit up there. That is why he's projected to go in the second round. If the Raptors do draft him, they get a really nice player in Aaron Wiggins who can score in multiple ways. He's also he's a solid defender as well. I wouldn't say a great defender, but he's a nice defender as well. In terms of what he needs to improve on, he can be a streaky shooter. As you see, his three-point percentages aren't that bad, but he can get hot and cold really quickly. He also tends to turn the ball over a lot, so that is something the Raptors would need to keep in mind if they drafted Aaron Wiggins. And also to note, the Raptors did work out Aaron Wiggins, and the day they worked out Aaron Wiggins was the day he declared for draft. So that is something to keep in mind. Maybe they've already made a commitment to him. We'll have to wait and see in today's NBA draft. Well, let's move on to our second player here. So this is one player I really like, Neemias Queta. You take a look at his body there. He is an NBA-ready body. He's got the longest wingspan in this year's NBA draft at 7'4". And in terms of what he brings to the Raptors, you look at all of his statistics on the right-hand side, and you are absolutely drooling here because not only is he a good NBA size, he's bringing that 7-foot frame of his. He's also got good weight on him. He's not underweight. He can score. He's a tremendous rebounder. He's actually won Defensive Player of the Year twice. The one year he didn't win, it was a shout out to someone who wrote this in the comment section, was actually Raptors rookie last season was Malachi Flynn, who won that Defensive Player of the Year, which was the reason Neemias Queta didn't win it. But in terms of what he brings to the Raptors is great shot blocking. 3.3 blocks per game is no joke. So he's a tremendous rebounder, great shot blocker. And he can also hit his free throws at a decent clip as well. For a big man, that isn't too shabby. He can get you steals as well. And the one part of his game I really like is his passing ability. He can pass as a center position. I mean, what more would you want from your center position? I really liked him. I'm really hoping the Raptors do draft Neemias Queta in terms of what he brings to, in terms of not only his NBA-ready body frame, but he can rebound the ball. He's a pretty good passer. He can block shots, and he can hit his free throws at a decent clip. Now, obviously, some things to keep in mind is he can't stretch the floor. He does need to increase his shooting range. He also is a little heavy-footed, so in the pick-and-roll game, sometimes he can get a little bit, he can get blown by defenders because much like how we saw with Marc Gasol in the NBA playoffs, he's going to get really hurt in the pick and roll. He needs to maybe learn to move his feet a little bit quicker, work on that aspect of his game. But in terms of everything else, he would be a really nice addition to the Raptors. Now let's move on to the next player here. So the next player here is Jericho Sims. I really like Jericho Sims for several reasons. Now he's listed as a forward. He was playing the point guard center position in college. He was actually the backup of potential lottery pick Kai Jones, which is why his statistics aren't exactly huge. Now, he's listed as a forward. I believe he can play the center position at the NBA level. He's got decent size. He's got good NBA-ready body as well as a nice wingspan of 7'3". He's a solid rebounder. He's a very explosive big man who can really get up at the rim. He can attack the rim. He's also great at finishing around the rim. He's got good footwork. One thing I really like about Jericho Sims is his footwork is great. You'll see him get the ball in the paint. He has these pump fakes he does. He's got nice footwork as well. He's also a great shot blocker. It may not show it on the screen there by his statistics, but he knows when to block the shots. He doesn't just jump up at every single shot that goes up at the rim. He knows when to jump for shots. He's also a really smart defensive player as well. Really high IQ defensive player. If you take a look at some of his highlights, he is tremendous on defense. He knows where to be at the right places at the right time, and he gets those blocks. Now, the thing about Jericho Sims I really like is his versatility. He's got great lateral quickness, which allows him to guard from small forwards to power forwards to centers. And even in the pick and roll, if he gets switched on to point guards, at times he's shown the ability to guard them as well. He's got really quick feet, which would make all Raptors fans really excited. Personally, I'm really excited if we are able to land Jericho Sims. He's got great defensive potential. He's also shown the ability to be a really good rebounder as well. Now, obviously, in terms of his and what he needs to work on. Much like Neemias Queta, his 3-point shot isn't there. He needs to work on his shooting and really work on that range. His free throw percentage is brutal. He needs to work on that as well. But the Raptors would get someone who's a really versatile defender, a great high IQ defensive player, as well as a great rebounder in Jericho Sims, and an explosive athlete. So with that being said, let's move on to our last player who I think the Raptors should take in this year's NBA draft. Now, Scottie Lewis is someone who's also worked out with the Raptors. His interview is up on YouTube if you want to look it up. He's a really humble, down-to-earth player. When you see how he carries himself and talks about the Raptors, really nice person. But in terms of what he brings to the Raptors is his defense, and defense. Much like a lot of the players I've listed in this video, he's a great defensive player. He's also got a tremendous wingspan of 7 feet, despite only being 6'5" tall. Now, in terms of his stats, they don't jump out at you because he's not known for his offense at all. He definitely needs to work on his shot. His 3-point shooting definitely needs a lot of work. But in terms of his defense, he's an absolute menace on defense. He irritates the heck out of defenders. He blocks shots out of nowhere. He'll be that player who kind of just gets those crazy blocks. He comes out of nowhere. He's defending his player. He can block centers. He can block any player. His wingspan is tremendous. And even when he gets blown by defenders, his speed allows him to catch up to those defenders and really block those shots as well. So in terms of what you get from Scottie Lewis is pretty much his defense. He really needs to work on his offense. It's not there yet. He really would need to go down to the G League and work on his offense. But that is pretty much what you get from Scottie Lewis. So I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think the Raptors should draft based on the players I've shown you on the second round and also the first round as well? Who do you think the Raptors could take? Do you think Scottie Lewis, maybe someone else they should take in the second round? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys are still watching this video, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.